Hello and welcome back to Football Scrutiny. 4-4-2 diamond pressing against goal kicks is what we're going to be looking at today. So the reason I've chosen this subject is because this system is available for teams playing a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 and various systems where they can shift players around and create the 4-4-2 diamond press. So here we've got just the standard 4-4-2 system, and I'm just going to put the players in. So my two strikers on the edge of the area. Now, for it to be a diamond, we need to make, obviously, a diamond in the middle of the pitch. So either our 6 or our 8 would move forward into this area here, and the 6 would come in behind as the pivot. Now, in this system, the right and the left midfielders would then come into these areas here, more or less in line with the penalty area. Now, that's the 4-4-2 diamond. So what other system could do this? Well, let's just put him into here, there, and now you can see more or less the shape for a 4-3-3 system. So here's our 3 midfielders, our 3 strikers. So for this system to convert into a 4-4-2 diamond, it's really simple. The classic false 9. So there is our false 9, dropping back in and making that system there. So now we've got a 4-4-2 diamond system for a 4-3-3. So there's 2 systems which work for it. Let's move it back into the 4-4-2. There we go. Now before I continue, I just want to say thank you very much, guys, for liking the videos. Every time you click on the like button, it really helps us out. If you can share, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, don't miss any of our videos, blah, 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 blah. Honestly, it really does help us a lot, and it really helps us to create more videos. So please subscribe, turn on the notifications, share with many of our videos as you possibly can. Anyway, let's get into the tactics. So here's my 4-3-3 system playing against the 4-4-2 diamond press. Now, it looks like this video is going to be quite long, so I'm probably going to have to split it into 2. And to start with, I'm just going to talk about the options for the goalkeeper and the options for the centre-backs playing out, and then perhaps in part 2, we'll talk more about the midfielders and the wingers and forwards and how they can get involved in different ways of playing out. So, to start with, let's talk about the goalkeeper. What options does he have? Look, the goalkeeper can play it to whoever he wants. He can play it to one of the centre-backs, depending upon the positioning of these strikers, into the fullbacks, depending on the positioning of the wingers, into the pivot, depending on the position of 8, obviously, into the 8 or 10, the 2 midfielders, obviously depending upon the position of the 7 and the 11. You could play it straight into the striker, obviously a little bit more difficult. You've got a 3 against 1 situation in there. Or you could play it out into the wingers also. So, for now, we're just going to talk about the options which we would have if we play it into the centre-back. So, let's give it to one of the centre-backs. Now, what I like to do when the ball is given to the centre-back is I want my full-backs, I don't want them to play high, I don't want them to be up here, and for it to be a 3 against or 4 against 3 situation in here. What I want is my fullbacks nice and deep. Why? Because the player that's responsible for doing that, for pressing against the 3 and the 2, will be their 7 and their 11. And if I'm playing higher up, the distance between the 7 and the 3 here is shorter than if they're here. So I want to make them work. I want him to be running 30 meters instead of 20. Okay? Why? Because when he receives the ball, it's more likely that he's not going to arrive in time to be able to press him and win the ball back. So this for me is an advantage. So we play it into our centre-back and then into our full-back. And the 11 should jump out to press. Well, let's go back a little bit. When the ball comes into the centre-back, it's likely that the 10 is going to try and press him. So my first option is for a pass into here, early, precise, crisp, on the floor, so that our fullback can then control and face forward. Really important. So I'm banking on the 11 coming out to press. So what are the options for the fullback? Well, I could play it back into centre back if he wants, but that's not what we're looking for. We want to try and beat this press early. So the options are straight into my 7, potentially an offload into the 8. But when that ball moves to the 5 and then into the 2, and as soon as this 11 goes and has left the number 8, has left the number 8, the number 6 will jump onto the 8. That's what will happen. Right? There's no mystery to it. That's what's going to happen. So as soon as he moves, the number 6 is going to move. So pass into the 7, the offload into the 8 is more difficult. Okay? What can happen is that our 10 moves early to try and receive a pass inside, behind the 6. Okay? Let's move those back. Move the 10 back. Okay, so that's one option, into the 7. Potential offload into the 8 and the 10. But what I really like is the idea of this 8 starting. Put them a little bit there. There we go. I like the idea of my 8 starting really close to the shoulder of the number 11. I'm waiting to see what he does. With him being so close to him, he might be like, "Ooh, I can't really jump out," and therefore our 2 can just bring the ball forward casually, and we've already broken the press. And then they start defending in the mid block. Or if he goes, as soon as he goes, pick up this position here. Moving not straight horizontally, but diagonally behind, and therefore making the distance for the 6 to be greater. Because the 6, like I already told you, will come and press here. So now, any pass into the number 8, and we should have broken this press. Okay? Then obviously you can either, well, you can bring it forward, you can drive inside, the 7 can come. Who's likely going to press him now that he's come out and he's received the pass? The number 3. And if the number 3 does, then we've got different options. We can either drop here down the line, we can move into here to receive. I prefer down the line though. We've got 3 against 2, make the most of it, and if possible, force this centre back out of position, number 9 goal side of the 4. So options if we do that. Right, let's go back a little bit, let's put these players back in, and let's talk about the other options for the centre backs, because there's more than just what we've talked about. Let's put him back in. Okay, so, and this one I really like. If you've got a goalkeeper who's confident on the ball, when the ball comes into him, just give it back. Just give it back and see what these players do. See what the number 9 and number 10 do. Do they jump out and they press? So I need to put him back. Create the picture properly. Does he come and press? Can you play that ball over straight away? If he comes into press, can you just play the ball straight over to there? So ideally, we want to see what the opposition players do. And I like it that if he comes into press, then our centre back. Right, let's start again. When the ball comes into the centre back, if he now comes in and he starts to press a little bit, could just be touch out of your foot, boom, straight onto the opposite side of the pitch, where the number 3 should have space, because when the ball is played into the 5, the likelihood is the number 7 will just shift in a little bit. And when he does, that just creates those extra few yards of space for our number 3 to be able to receive the ball, touch in front of him, and move forward. And of course, it's going to be difficult for the number 7 to jump out and press, because the number 10 will be free. So if he does, either 10 can receive there, or he can receive here. Number 11 also can receive here and play the offload into the 10 before the 6 can get there. Okay, so those are options which the centre-back has got. What other options are there? Let's give it back to him first. Let's put 7 back, 10 back, everyone else back a little bit. Right. what are the other options? Depending upon the positioning of this player, our 8 could receive here. So when the ball comes in, we can ask our 6 to move away and create doubts for our number 8 here. Either to just receive our number 8, or if he's moved in, for our number 6 to receive into here and then play forward. Okay, so that's another option which I also like. And of course, you've got the really simple idea of, can we now just play long? If we're really feeling the pressure, you can just play long into the number 9 to receive there or to receive here. Okay, so those are the options for me for the centre back when playing out with a 4-3-3 against a 4-4-2 diamond press. Tune in for part 2 when we're going to start looking more at the longer passes into the 6, into the 8 and the number 10, and the switching of positions between the 8 and number 2 to receive higher up the pitch, and probably talk about the number 9 offloading into the number 8 and 10 for passes over the defensive line to the 11 and the number 7. So tune in for number 2, and yeah, we'll see you soon for more tactics talk from Football Scrutiny.